We go to the state meet, and this kid comes running down, and he literally goes out the back of the pit. And everybody's like, well, he missed his step or whatever. And then it happens again, and they realize, holy shit, we've got a big problem here.
Shut up and sit down.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Bay Care Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Roll Tech, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Miller Lite, and Aaron's Company.
What's up, Wisconsin? From the Inside Wisconsin studios and here on youtube.com/Inside Wisconsin. Thanks for your click of that subscription button. My name is Trevor Thomas. That's John Anderson. Hey, don't know. I won the shirt game today. It's not even a contest. This Brookfield Central shirt beats any sweat. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm just saying the shameless lengths you are going to to kiss up to Joe Thomas has really gotten out of hand. For God's sake, man. You're a 6'8", whatever human being. Have some spine. It's okay. We've made a mistake in life. I feel like at this point you've done more than enough penance, but I'm just waiting for you to show up next time with a Brown 73 jersey. Like, it's okay. Okay.
We're over it.
You blew it, but you let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to let it go, but you need to let it go.
I fully expect you not to let it go ever.
No.
Literally ever. No.
Here, I'll do this. I'm going to make a 1-week pledge or a 1-show pledge. With today's guest, obviously Kenny Harrison, the great track and field Olympian,
Brookfield Central
Joe. So we'll talk about that, but at no point will I embarrass you about how you picked Joe Thomas as your 5th all-time greatest Badger or whatever the egregious jailable criminal offense is that you had.
I'll believe it when I see it. John, it is the 8th episode of Inside Wisconsin, and my friend, it has finally happened. We have a track and field star on today's show. Kenny Harrison, you mentioned him.
We don't just have a star, people.
True.
I don't know that he's got as much name recognition as Joe Thomas or Barry Alvarez, but I'm not so sure there's a more decorated track and field athlete in Wisconsin history. I don't know that there's one that's been more significant. World champion, Olympic champion, Olympic record holder, still 25 years later.
Yeah.
Just a phenomenal guy. We're the same age. We graduated the same year. We're kind of connected, even though he has no idea we were connected. He is the great Olympic triple jump champion, Kenny Harrison. So here, Trevor, this is what an Olympic gold medalist looked like.
I got it.
Like we've got tons of Pro Bowlers and NBA All-Stars and guys that have gone to the Midsummer Classic. You know how many track and field Olympic gold medalists we have at Wisconsin?
Him.
Kenny Harrison, tell me how many we have.
Only summer Olympic gold medalists. I know that.
That's it, right? Eric Hayden can have his 5 or whatever. Kenny Harrison is a level all his own. We are so glad to have you on Inside Wisconsin. And this really is, you are a continuation of our Brookfield Central portion of the program, because we had Joe Thomas on our last show, and we asked him flat out, here's what we asked him.
Give me the greatest athlete ever at Brookfield Central.
Kenny Harrison, Olympic gold medalist and Olympic record holder in the triple jump.
So listen, that dude's 20 years past your prime, but he knows the score. Are you good with that, or are you going to vote for Joe? Because I think you can vote for yourself. I have no problem with that.
Well, I got a good thing. Well, Joe and I are both on the stadium now at Brookfield Central. So, and they weren't sure whose name they're going to put first, but I think they just went who is the oldest first, because Joe's significant 13-year career of playing football at a super high level is pretty dang amazing too. So I'm voting for Joe as well. So I guess we'll just keep patting each other on our backs.
Well, plus if it had been a wrestling meet, forget it. You're out.
Oh,
Uh,
I'll
but,
just run.
but we
I'll
should
just
point
run.
out too that Joe was an excellent track guy. He threw the disc in the shot, and so he's on my side here, Trevor. In addition to you misranking him so grossly low, he's on my side. So
We're
I'm
not
going to
gonna get
start with this, Kenny, because it is the question I love to ask every person that is an Olympian that has won that gold medal. And that is, you climb that podium and they put that medal around your neck. And what goes through your head when you hear the national anthem?
Man, it's epic. It just brings back all the memories, all the hard work. Me especially go from missing 1992 Olympic Games due to injury. Just thinking about all the hard work, all the injuries, all the things that you had to go through to get to that point, and then to be there representing your country at the highest level of sport. It's pretty amazing. And to know that you're the best in the world at what you do. I know baseball, basketball, and football players call themselves world champions, but the real deal is that you are the best in the history of the world at what you're doing on that specific day. So it's pretty significant.
Yeah, it is a global thing. And then the follow-up question I always ask is, you go to some other sporting event. I don't care if it's a high school game or you go to see the Brewers. Now you hear that song again. Can you ever hear it the same way after having stood on that podium?
No, it's a whole different meaning. It gives you the passion for the rest of your life that you are representing your country and that you have represented your country. I think it would liken it similar to like being a military person, not the military person that is absolutely out there and being shot at and doing those different things, but it actually makes you feel that kind of passion and representing your country at the highest level. So when you hear that national anthem go off, you feel like that is you. That is what you represent, the highest level, and a patriot, as you know, as we all should feel.
Yeah. Head to toe goosebumps. So not only were you representing our nation, but Kenny, you were representing Wisconsin, man. Like, talk to us about the roots that are deep here in the state of Wisconsin. Look at this, Brookfield Central Lancers. Look at that.
That's the best. That's the best shirt in the history of the world. I don't even know where you got it from. I need to get me one of those things. I mean, ASAP. When I go to track practice, I'm getting one of those. But to represent, not only our country, but to represent our city of Brookfield, Wisconsin. Brookfield is like the most amazing city. Most people, when I go give speeches, whether it be a corporation or high schools, people ask me where I grew up. And first thing I say is I grew up in Brookfield, Wisconsin, most amazing place on the planet. I've had the good fortune to travel around the world for over 30 years. And I ended up back here because I love it that much. To represent Brookfield at the highest level. And I swear, half of our community was at the Olympic Games, watching me get that gold medal at the same time. So it's pretty cool, and to be able to come home now and still have the same friends and the same family and the same community here, and to try to give back as much as possible. It's pretty amazing.
So I have lived on the banquet circuit on your coattails. And I mentioned this to Trevor briefly. I have told it at the Wisconsin Coaches Association. I have told it at the Bowerman Awards, where they give it away to the best, the track and field equivalent of the Heisman. I have told it to the NCAA when they had the big athletes dinner the night before, about how we go to the state meet and this kid comes running down and he literally goes out the back of the pit. And everybody's like, well, he missed his step or whatever. And then it happens again, and they realize, holy shit, we've got a big problem here. This kid can't go off the board. And so they paint, as I recall, it was, this wide, a light blue line. Tell me how you remember that, because I always say it was 10 feet. I don't know if it was 8 or whatever. Right. All I know is that when they drew another line for somebody, we're like, I don't think we're going to win today. But how do you remember that going down?
I do remember that. I've jumped out of a lot of pits. Triple jump was my first year of the triple jump was my senior year for the being contested at the state meet. So for me to go to some of these other meets, some of the pits were only like 45 feet long, and I was jumping 50 feet. So, a lot of times I would just land on the grass, and that's supposed to be a foul. You know, you're not supposed to be able to measure that. So they ended up having to actually go back and paint new boards every time I come to a new place. Either they would paint a new board down for me specifically, or they would put tape down. They would grab some tape from the trainer and tape down a new board at least 8 to 10 feet back so that I would be able to land in the sand. So that is an absolute true story.
That's insane.
Sounds like I made that up, but it's actually
it's that
true.
It's
and
true.
Now you're not even getting to jump off a board. You got to jump off like asphalt. So you're like,
it's asphalt.
Like now we've handicapped.
Exactly.
Unreal.
Exactly.
And you still got record after record after record. I was watching back the 96 Olympics when you won the gold medal.
Right.
Your body looks like it's going to break in half when you land. I cannot imagine if you didn't land in sand. Hey, speaking of sand, you took some sand in 96 from Atlanta. Where is that?
Absolutely. It is in my hourglass. It was originally in an hourglass at 59 minutes, 4 seconds. It ended up in a little tumble. So I had to collect the sand through the dust buster and recollect it. But now it's in a nice crystal vase in the mantle with the gold medals, the world championships, and the Goodwill Games medals, and all the accolades that we get for track and field over the years. And it's sitting pretty right now. And it's a great reminder when I'm feeling bad or I'm having a bad day. I'll go over there and take a little look at it or smell it a little bit, open it up, smell it, and bring me right back to, bring me back to excellence for a minute. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It's one of the oldest sports. Like Trevor, if you find a Grecian urn, it's got a wrestler on it and it's got like a triple jumper etched on it. Like that's how far back it goes. But to show you that not everything is the same, because since it was the first year, I also had my school triple jump record.
Yep.
I also had my school high jump record. What was your PR as a senior in the high jump?
In high jump, 6'7" 3/4.
And I jumped 6'8". So how about that? So there you go.
Wow.
And
but
here's
where things get different. What's your school record in the triple jump?
52.4.
I jumped 39.11. They're not the same thing at all.
That's awesome.
Through. I did finally crack 40 one time, like in a summer all-comers meet somewhere in Seymour, but that was a big deal. 40 feet. That's why you wonder, like, what am I doing? Because I know there's a guy in Brookfield with his own freaking line back there that's going to go 52, whatever. But as first goes, 83 was also the first time that you could dunk in Wisconsin basketball, not tee it up. And you claim, I'm not here to refute it, but I'm just saying that you had the first dunk in prep history.
First dunk in Wisconsin history, and I'm sticking to that story to the end. First game of the season. First tip, the tip-off, they tipped it to me. Fast break dunk on camera, on TV. Somebody has it somewhere. If you're listening to the show or watching the show, please look it up and find it for me, because it was the first game of the year. It was perfect. And that year I went on to have over 10 dunks in the season. And we had a really quality team. So, man, it was a great time. One of my most memorable athletic things ever was playing basketball and having that dunk in the first tip, fast break.
I mean, leave something for the rest of us. Gee.
Hey, well, that's because we get to do the first things here in Wisconsin. We first all the time. We got Aaron Rodgers MVP. We got Giannis MVP. We got our man from baseball MVP, and then we got Olympic gold medalist, man. Come on.
Yeah,
we pretty got it solid. We got it covered.
Doing good. We're doing good. We will chat more with Olympic gold medalist and apparently the first dunk in high school history here in Wisconsin. That's Kenny Harrison. Back with more in a bit. We are Inside Wisconsin.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Roll Tech, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Miller Lite, and Aaron's Company.
Helpful critiques, ideas, great stories, people we should know, the great bar in your town, the fish fry you want to know, the fish boil, anything that you want to reach out to us with. We are happy. We are here. You can be the inputters. We're here to listen.
John, it is always beer season here in Wisconsin. Winter, spring, fall, summer, doesn't matter. Not to be confused with deer season. It's always beer season. Our friends at Miller Lite, that's the beer season that we try to choose because it tastes like beer.
Honestly, I don't even think of beer season. I just think of beer, right? If there's no season, then I just think, I think beer, a beer around.
Speaking of around, I went around in Northeast Wisconsin and I tried to find every type of can and or bottle that Miller Lite it comes in. There are 6 that I could find. I'm curious, can you rattle off the sizes that Miller Lite comes in?
So obviously we've got the 12-ounce standard. Right?
12-ounce standard can. Yep, got that.
And in the white can, and right there, quite frankly, I appreciate that they have variety trying to help everybody. That seems like that should be enough for anybody right there.
Yeah,
sometimes you just have the perfect beer and the perfect receptacle, and you could quit there. But I applaud them trying to stretch that. So you probably got a little 7-ouncer somewhere, right? We got a little.
I thought that you were gonna fail on this one, but you're right. If there was one that I didn't think you were gonna get, this was it. But I really like these little guys.
And then you've got the 16-ounce is probably a standard.
16-ounce. Go ahead. Tell me the 16-ounce can.
Yeah, 16-ounce can.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
so now I gotta guess the packaging too. Like
there's a 16-ounce pint as well. They came out with these in like Brewers themes when it first came out. So these are both 16-ounce. Yeah. All right. There's 2 more.
You don't have a keg there, right? Is there a limit on this?
I almost went and got one just to mess with you, but I decided not to because it was way too freaking heavy.
Keg? You have a pony keg. Okay, so I want can I pour a little out for my homie? Do you have a 40?
No, I couldn't find a 40. I don't think they come in 40s anymore. All right, there's 2 left, and you should get this.
All right. So
12-ounce bottle.
Okay, see, that goes back. Okay, now I thought I was just going for the 1. So, and the other one, let's just double up. We got a 24.
Yep, the silo. That's what's left.
Yeah,
he did pretty good. I'm pretty impressed.
That's heavy artillery right there.
I'm here with all my friends.
That's good company right there.
Yeah, I'll be here if you need me, and I'm going to do this responsibly. That's the way we like to do it. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Head to MillerLite.com/inside Wisconsin to find delivery options nearest you. They can literally send Miller Lite to your door, or you can pick it up pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. That's this one and this one.
Good.
A little bit more in these, not so much in this guy.
We don't have to. I was told there'd be no math.
We're back inside Wisconsin in a break with our guy, Kenny Harrison. It is top 5 list time. Thank you for allowing me to bring the top 5 list back this episode. I understand the reprieve and I got suspended. We're better. Yep. Here we go. In honor of Kenny, and he's from Milwaukee, went to Brookfield, the top 5 favorite things about Milwaukee. So here we go, J.A.
Okay.
You do a couple, I'll do a couple. They may be right, they may be wrong, but nonetheless, let's talk the Milwaukee area.
Okay, well, since you're always wrong, I feel like you should go first.
All right, so I'll give you my 5th and 4th. Then you go. All right, so number 5 on my list, this probably has more to do with my family than anything, but it's a super cool place. You ever been to Discovery World in Milwaukee? Probably not.
I have not. I've yet to discover that.
Yeah, you need to discover that. Discovery World, Science and Technology Museum. Kids love it. Number 4 for me, it is not even close to an honorable mention. This is on my list. It's Summerfest. I know that you've been there. It's an incredible place. We will hear a story you inform me about Summerfest later in the episode. But at the end of the day, there's nothing like Summerfest, whether it's walking around and seeing all the free things, and they spread it out now over a few months. They just released their lineup for this year's Summerfest. It's intense. I love and try to get to every year a little Summerfest. All right, give me 5 and 4 on your list.
So here's why I wanted to have a sports connection to all of mine.
Okay.
Right. No matter how thin or veiled. So that means like going to see Samson at the Milwaukee Zoo is out. The big silverback gorilla.
Great spot, though. Great spot.
Right. So, we love that. So Mater's Restaurant out, even though I love that. The Fiserv Forum is too new, even though thanks to Craig Karmazin and the Wisconsin Sports Awards, I was there when they opened it and did the first event there, but it's just too new. So that's not in there. The Pabst Brewery, as much as I love that, and the hotel they've turned it into, that's out. And then that unfortunately takes out the Bronze Fonz.
Yeah.
I have a small connection, right? When I found out they had the Bronze Fonz, Google bronze Fonz. I'm going to find about Arthur Fonzarelli, Happy Days. And I read an article, and it's all about the bronze. And then I go up and I read the byline, and it's by a kid named Steve Sharp, who was one of my best high school buddies, who was a great runner, helped win Division III national titles for UW Oshkosh when he was there. I think they won twice. So I'm like, okay, well, that has a very thin, but it's got a sports connection. It's got my boy, Sharpie the Great Runner on it. But unfortunately, the bronze font is out. So
a quick shout out to my friends Darren and Ian down in Janesville. This is the first time Happy Days has been mentioned on Inside Wisconsin. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So number 5 is it's the new ballpark at Miller Park. Okay. Yeah. Which is now American Family Field. Yeah. But I was fortunate enough, I got to throw out a first pitch at a Brewer game. Awesome. Like I said, at the time, Miller Park, now American Family. But I just, so that goes on my list. I went and I stood on the grass in front because they had raked the mound. I didn't want to mess it up. But my son at the time, who was 3, just went running right up the mound, and he just stood right on the rubber as I was throwing the pitch. So that was fantastic.
All right.
Number 4, also a great sports arena, is the Mecca.
Yeah, the old Mecca.
The great floor. But here's why, and I'm surprised the Mecca could easily be number 1. Saw my first Bucks game there. Saw Dr. J in that first Bucks game play there.
Yeah.
And I also, in 9th grade, we went to the cultural fair there for my French class with Mr. Feldhausen. And I kissed my first girl there in the Mecca. There was some cultural whatever display was going on. And we were watching some show, and the lights went out. And the next thing you know,
giddy up.
I'd kissed a girl, and I liked it. Yeah. So between the Bucks, Dr. J, and Lisa Zoll, love Lisa, great. Listen, by the way, that ended well. I went to her wedding when she and George got married. They live in Des Moines now, 4 or 5 lovely children. She was, great. Shout out to all the wonderful St. Joe's girls in the world. So the Mecca's at number 4 for a variety of reasons. They could easily boost it to number 1.
All right, here are my 3 and 2. Then we'll go to your 3 and 2, and we'll share our number 1s. Number 3, you just mentioned it. American Family Field is clearly a place, but I love tailgating at a Brewers game.
Okay.
Like, this is my top 3 favorite things in Milwaukee. We sat in line for the playoff game last year to tailgate in American Family Field's parking lot. There's nothing like it, tailgating at a Brewers game. Number 2, I just love the words Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've always taken pride in that as a Wisconsinite, as a Wisconsin Statriot. Every time you hear a Miller spot, including on this show, it ends with Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Absolutely love that Miller is home there in Milwaukee. 3 and 2, go.
Good. All the commercials. And I am, my buddies and I to this day, some of them, in fact, one of my best friends, a fellow that lives in Dublin, Ohio, now Columbus. Whenever we get together, we go get Miller High Life, the champagne and beers. We don't even.
Bonjour, Milwaukee.
Yeah, we're already in there. Number 3 for me is the Pfister Hotel, which is fantastic. It's haunted for one thing.
Totally.
Pardon me?
Totally haunted. 100% haunted.
Totally. That should be it. We should get somebody on for the Pfister, just a little slice of cheese about how that place is haunted. But that's where the visiting teams. Yes. I don't know if they do anymore, but always used to stay.
They still
and
do.
So my dad and I, for my birthday, we'd always go down to a Brewer game for my birthday, as close as it could be there in May. And we'd go down on a Friday, get a night game, get a Saturday day game, or come home, or a Saturday night game. And so we'd see 2. We got to stay over. And one time he really treated, we got to stay at the Pfister.
All right, number 2
needs no explanation. Milwaukee Country Club. Bucci Anderson on the first tee, done.
That's awesome.
If you haven't, you should. And if I could do it again tomorrow, I don't care how bad my hand is, I'd do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you had some stories from the Milwaukee Country Club. That's pretty cool. All right, number 1 on my list.
Of cheese, man. They had a goblet of cheese at the turn.
That's impressive. A goblet of cheese. All right. Hey, I'm encouraged right now because I think that you and I might have the same number 1.
We're right together on this. There's no question we're on this.
Oh, this is the first time. Round of applause. The same number 1. My favorite thing about Milwaukee is Bob Uecker.
We do not have the same thing.
Son of a bitch. Well, for mine, by far, it's Bob Uecker and nothing else unless you mentioned something that I apparently misplaced in my head. That is by far my number 1 favorite thing. on Twitter the other day. It was Mike Vasallo from the Brewers. He posted something about Bob, and I got all nervous because I was like, oh no, I'm dreading the day we are no longer with Bob Uecker. He's no longer with us. It's not even close. My number one is Bob Uecker.
So
you messed up.
I would tell you that I am Bob Uecker adjacent on this, and that I went strictly for places in Milwaukee. Okay,
right.
So Uecker does not come into my mind because I am thinking places, whether it's the county zoo, whether it's Mater's, whether it's the Pfister, or number one, County Stadium.
Okay, the original, sure. All right.
So the original County Stadium's number
We're
one,
close.
near and dear to my heart. Saw Brewer games there, saw great Brewer teams there, saw not so good teams. I saw George the Boomer Scott hit home runs there. I saw Hank Aaron hit a home run there. I saw Cecil Cooper hit home runs there. I might have seen John Jaha hit a home
Johnny
run.
Jaha.
Anyway, so in that case, because Uecker is so much a part of that, that's why I thought, okay, we're thinking County Stadium. We're very much on the same page here.
Yeah.
You're going with the person. I'm going with the place. I think together. But you used to go up and to see that big stadium, which at the time, now they're all palaces, but with the keg guy there, the big circle with the keg guy making
barrel.
the swing, the barrel man. But I have this caveat about my county stadium that's my favorite. My county stadium, the favorite, still has Bernie Brewer's little chalet and the beer mug in center field.
Yeah.
When they got rid of that, really had a hard time with it. I don't know why they decided that and just put speakers out there. But number one for me, County Stadium, but with Bernie Chalet and the big beer stein.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember like yesterday. And we'll end with this, John. This thing, I fell in love with this microphone at County Stadium when Bob Betts, Robin Yount, 19, Yount. Nothing like it before a Brewers game at County Stadium. All right, there it is. Our top 5 favorite things about Milwaukee. Damn it, I thought we had the same number one.
Right. Number one could be Kenny Harrison, by the way.
Should be. We are back inside Wisconsin. Trevor Thomas, John Anderson, and Kenny Harrison, Olympic gold medalist from Brookfield, Wisconsin. So John and I just talked about our favorite things about Milwaukee, Kenny, and we're curious, what's your favorite thing about your hometown?
Oh, man, that's easy. That's State Fair. State Fair is the best thing on the planet. In high school, I used to work at State Fair and the Sheboygan Brat House at the grandstand in Sheboygan Brats. And we would serve quarter-pound brats, hot dogs, and beers back then because the drinking age was 18 back then. And our summers were epic. Every year we would go do that. We would make trades for bratwurst, for the cream puffs, to anything, to the gyros, to everything that was tradable. We would trade bratwurst for anything there. Man, we were right across the street from the giant slide, where we would always try to ride the slide standing up, coming down, and without getting caught. And that was the most hilarious thing, because you would get in their little blanket like you're bobsledding. And as soon as the guy lets you go, you try to hop up like a surfer and ride it down all the way down to the bottom. So,
now we know where those knee injuries came from. Got it. That's where it all started.
That's where we got our balance from. That's
remarkable.
So I know that you took really good care of your body, right?
Absolutely.
There's a regimen of chicken and rice and broccoli.
Yep.
Is that still the deal today?
It's my favorite meal. For my birthday, I don't want cakes. I want chicken, rice, chicken breast, and broccoli. And you can throw a little soy sauce on top of that if you want. But I can eat that all day long, every day, and I'm good to go.
They have Culver's in Brookfield, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They have Culver's and they have Chick-fil-A. So, I do partake in those delicious meals as well.
Okay, good.
I was going to say, I would happily send you this Brookfield Central Lancers shirt, but it ain't. I am not on the chicken and broccoli and rice diet. I am more of a Culver's and Chick-fil-A guy, but that's all good. All right, so take us back to high school. We were talking about this earlier about the Harrison Thomas Stadium. I learned that your biggest rival at Brookfield Central was Brookfield East. And you may not know this, But when they put up the signs for Harrison Thomas Stadium, they took budget from Brookfield Central and Brookfield East to name your stadium. That must have pissed them off.
Hey, well, I will say this without sounding arrogant. If they would have beat me at any one of any track meet or any of our basketball games back through my 4 years at Brookfield Central, or my 4 years of running track and field, if they would have beat me, I would have happily paid for that for them.
but since they didn't, go ahead and send the money over. Yeah,
send the money over. Hey, but they got a field house. We didn't get an indoor track. They got an indoor track. We didn't get an indoor track. We got a basketball stadium, basketball arena kind of, but not the full blown thing that they have. So
right.
It's a give and take community.
No love lost. Got it.
No love lost.
You got a gold medal. They don't have a gold medal. To me, that ends a lot of discussions. Like that's the exclamation point on a lot of things. You know,
it kind of is sometimes.
See the trinket. All right, we move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about getting.
But
You finally get there in '96. By the way, so you have the Olympic record still.
Right.
Who has the second longest jump in Olympic history?
Jonathan Edwards, the guy who took second at the Olympics. Jonathan Edwards.
I think it's you. Wasn't your second best?
Oh yes,
in history?
that is true.
I think you have the top two.
That's right.
In
two Olympic records, 2 American records back to back. So it was, man, that's a good thing you just said that because I need to talk to one of my sponsors.
But take me to that day because it takes a long time to get there. And like every time I watched the Packers and they go, boy, we missed out on a chance to go to the Super Bowl, but there's next year.
Yep.
So the Olympics, there's not next year. There's 4 next years. And like I said, in this event, you got to get through the American trials, which is really tough.
Yeah.
But then you have to be your best, and it's on that day.
Right. Tell me about that day. That day was pretty spectacular. It might take a little bit, but that day was amazing because first thing is that my girlfriend at the time was the Olympic champion Gail Devers in the 100 meters that day. So the morning we were going to compete was the morning of the bombing in Centennial Park. And we weren't really sure, where our families were, brothers and sisters, everybody's out that night partying and having a good time while we're getting ready to compete in the morning. And the bomb goes off and we're not sure if we're going to be able to compete, if it was a terrorist attack. The thought that went through my brain was, are you kidding me? I got to wait another 4 years if they cancel this Olympics. Do I have to wait 4 more years to do this again? And, that emotion in itself. And then I looked over at Gail and, she was my girlfriend at the time. And I was like, man, if I had to wait 4 more years, I'm 31 now. And for 4 more years, I'm going to be 35. Not that it's not doable, but man, 4 more years, I don't know if I could take that. So long story short, we get that call. It's going to be okay. We're going to get an opportunity to go compete. And, it's a sigh of relief, first of all, by knowing that everybody was safe in our families and everything else. And then letting the community know if it was safe and everything was going to be okay for the community and everything along those lines. But to be able to go to the meet and be able to be calm, because I just knew what just transpired with the bomb going off. It was like, man, this is our day, because if we survive that kind of situation, and then to be totally focused and committed to winning this gold medal, I knew that it was going to be. I knew that I was prepared. I knew I prepared perfect for this event. I knew there was no way I was going to let it go. So I was very calm when it came down to the meet itself. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't shaky. I just knew what I needed to do. And I think I told the media in the press conference before, they asked me, what do I want to do? What do I expect to do at the meet? And I kind of not jokingly, but I kind of tricked them by saying, I just want to do my personal best, because I know most of them did not know what triple jump is or how far I can jump or what's a big jump for the triple jump itself. So I said, I just want to do my personal best. And my personal best was 58.10, which was the second longest jump in history before the world record. So for me to jump a personal best would be close to the world record. So that's pretty much told them that, okay, he's a real player in this situation. So when it came time for me to jump, like I said, I was very calm, and things just became really real focused. I went in. I go in my private space. I put my hoodie on and I just chill and relax. And I just listen and listen and think about, my preparation of what it's going to take to get to that next level. So
you got there.
Watching you compete, you got like a Chris Webber mean face when you get at it. Like you look like, I don't know that that's the friendliest dude. Like I want to tangle with him.
Right. I know.
Jovial now, but
No,
you look at those pictures and like that guy looks like he might have some badassery.
Yeah. Well, I tell that to my friends. I tell it to everybody, whether I'm giving a speech or talking to kids. I said, there's two different people. There's the Kenny Harrison, the cute and cuddly Kenny Harrison, and then there's the competition Kenny Harrison, and that's the meanest person that you ever want to see or talk to. So when I step on the track, or go to a gym to work out or do anything, if I'm getting ready or prepared to compete, that would be the worst thing you should do to come talk to me. I would have to wear earphones on purpose. There wouldn't be music on, just so people, to keep them from getting either cursed at, yelled at, or anything, to get myself right and focused for what I need to do on a daily basis to get to that level. And I think people forget that, this is not like a basketball practice to me. It's not like a football practice where you guys go and we do games and we do plays and you do this stuff. If I'm not on my game every day, for my height and my size, to compete against 6'4" guys, world-class sprinters, these amazing athletes. For somebody my size, I could leave no stone unturned every day at practice to get to this, to get to the elite level of what I was doing. So of course I took that to heart. So my mean face is a real mean face, and that is the face, like you just said. I look like I am really, really pissed off, and I am really pissed off.
Competition,
so,
social distancing.
Yeah, yes. So if you watch the videos, that no athlete will come near me within 4 feet of me, 10 feet of me. I go off to the corner. I get my focus on until the competition's over. I'm not shaking your hand. I don't have anything to say to you. I don't want to discuss. The thing about it, I'm self-coached. So I don't have a coach to go to, and I don't like having to go and speak to a coach and say, hey, coach, what do you think about this? Was I on this time, or what do I need to do? I'm so tuned and in tune in what I'm doing that I don't have to look in the stands. I know where my steps are. I know how exact I'm going to be. I am 100% complete at knowing exactly what I need to do. And if you come and mess that up for me, we're going to have a problem. So that's where that kind of mindset is true. That meanness, that grit, that I'm trying to think of another player. I would say it would probably be what is that? Xavier Daniels, X-Man back in the day from the Sonics.
Xavier
X-Man.
Yep. Xavier McDaniel.
Or Daryl Dawkins to the backboard. Daryl Dawkins to the backboard is kind of like my mentality, or Shaq dunking on people. That kind of grit and anger. That is what you have to take to the triple jump every time you go.
Dominique Wilkins, he was an animal when he was dunked back in the day. All right, we'll wrap it up with Olympic gold medalist and true Wisconsin Patriot Kenny Harrison in just a bit. We are Inside Wisconsin.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Roll Tech, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Miller Lite, and Aaron's Company.
Helpful critiques, ideas, great stories, people we should know, the great bar in your town, the fish fry you want to know, the fish boil, anything that you want to reach out to us with. We are happy. We are here. You can be the inputters. We're here to listen.
J.A., it was a beautiful weekend this past weekend here in Wisconsin. Can't speak to Connecticut, but the grilling season has finally arrived. We talked about this last weekend. By the way, are you done with snow out there? Are you still shoveling out? It was a bad year for you.
You know, I'd like to. Right now, it's like 73 and sunny, so I'd like
All
to
right.
say that, but there's no guarantee we won't have 6 or 8 inches by the weekend.
Yep, accurate. Same here.
Because of that, I'll say this: we're hardy grillers here in the Northeast in New England because if you wait for the perfect day,
not happening.
So sometimes I'm just going to go. It's 40 and raining, but I'm going to go out there because I am a hunter and a gatherer. And I don't want to insult the guy who invented fire. So let's go for it.
I don't think of you as a hunter and anyway. All right. So I was grilling
I'm
this
more of a
past
gatherer. I get that.
Okay. Just make sure. So Festi Burgers, Festi Brats. It's the Oktoberfest brat from Festival Foods. Okay. I was grilling. And I want to have the debate. I don't want it to take very long. I'm just curious where you stand. Are you a charcoal guy or a gas guy? We talked about it before. Where do you land, right. Charcoal or gas?
Okay, so by nature, right, I like wood fired. I like the charcoal. I'm all about that. Yeah. I also, because I have, I like to squirt lighter fluid and watch go.
Okay.
So that'd be great.
Yeah.
That said, I have a gas line in my grill.
See, that ruined everything for the charcoal grill. When you can run a gas line to your grill now instead of having to haul around those tanks, everything changed.
And I'd really like to, if we could make this venture go to where we're super, super, super successful, then maybe I can afford a big green egg. But right now, I don't want to take out a second mortgage on the house.
Well, we're going to try to make this really successful and maybe get you a green egg at some point. But until then, throw those Festi Burgers and the Oktoberfest brats from Festival Foods on the charcoal or the gas, whatever you prefer. We'll argue about it on social media along with everything else.
Back for a final segment because of it. We aren't doing this special for you, Kenny, but we do 3 segments each time, right? We do a hop, skip, and a jump every show. But for you, we're going to pretend we tailored this to your liking. You got the Brewer hat on. You spend time now coaching at Brookfield and working with kids privately and stuff. You relocate as a professional at the time to Northern California. Tell me about the student that you had, that you trained, that now works and plays for the Packers.
Man, what an amazing honor. And if you ever would know that would have actually happen in the progression of who he is to this day, it's crazy. I worked with Aaron Rodgers back at Cal Berkeley. I ran track there. That's why I relocated for my training goals and things. Mm-hmm. But to be able to work with these elite football players was my next calling. I ended up working with a group in Berkeley, California, with my brother, where we trained elite athletes for a agency. It's called Octagon, and they were bringing their best football players to get them ready for the combine, to help them with their speed, agility, footwork, explosive power, all that stuff, so that they can rise up in the draft picks. And one of our clients was Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers was the most amazing, quiet gentleman that I've ever worked with. He came to us with not a lot of speed. Very charismatic, very nice guy. And to be able to work with him on a daily basis to help him with his speed, agility, and his flexibility, range of motion was amazing. And for him to go to the combine and run such an amazing time, I think his time prior to going to the combine were around 4.7, 4.8. And I believe he ended up running one of the fastest times for the quarterbacks that day at the combine. And, not knowing where Aaron was going to end up whether it was going to be with the 49ers, but for him to be able to go to the Green Bay Packers was like a dream come true for me. I know it wasn't for him because he wasn't the number 1 guy picked, but when he went to Green Bay, I was like, oh, we won. So
that's awesome.
It's an amazing thing that we were able to meet and to be able to work with him to help him with his craft and to keep him, hopefully he's remembering those things to keep him with his longevity. A lot of our athletes have a lot of longevity in their sports, and he's one of the main guys that has tested the time and lasted the longest, and it's still doing an amazing job.
Well, I think I speak for all of Wisconsin when I say thank you, Kenny Harrison. Very grateful for everything that you did for Aaron Rodgers, because it's going quite well for us.
Yes, sir.
Grateful. All right. One quick one for me, and then John lightning round. We'll get you out of here. Then again, thanks for coming on. This has been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We understand that there was a lot of hardware in your, I don't know, awards case there at your house, and that Olympic gold medal meant a big deal to you. But John and I learned that you're missing a piece of hardware. And we have taken it upon ourselves here at Inside Wisconsin to try to make sure that you get another piece of hardware. I'm just going to say it. It is a damn dirty shame that you are not in the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame, Kenny Harrison. John and I have officially nominated you to join the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame, buddy. You are nominated, and by golly, that's 73rd next year. We hope you get in.
Awesome. That is amazing.
How does that not happen?
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. It should not be a different one because I'm in the Wisconsin Hall of Fame.
Which Hall of Fame are you in? Because the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame that has a ceremony literally this weekend doesn't have your name on it, and that's not right.
I don't think it's on there. I think my mom came and did it for me. I was not in Wisconsin to actually receive the award, but I think they did, but I'm not absolutely sure.
Well, the conversation that I had today with them, they said that you're not. So anyway, if you are, great, then forget it. Then forget we ever had this conversation. But we don't think you are.
Hey,
damn it, you need to be.
I mean, that would be like icing on the cake. I was gonna say earlier that to be inducted into the USA Track and Field Hall of Fame was pretty much the icing that you're not just a triple jumper anymore. Now you're one of the best track and field athletes in history to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, which is a very cool thing. But to be able to be inducted into our Hall of Fame will also be pretty.
It needs to happen. I don't think you're in there.
I don't. Well, that's good. Hey, well, we're looking really forward to that because then I can be here for it, and that would be epic if it's possible.
That would be epic. That would be awesome. And it all started back in your career, but let's just say the nomination started here.
That's right.
One more question: can you still dunk?
Absolutely.
I was in there.
Absolutely, taking care of my body, man. That's the main thing, to be able to work with these elite athletes, these pro athletes. I have to be able to back it up because some of them are a little spoiled and they want to leave because they want to drive their Bentley to the mall and don't want to work out. So if you can't beat your trainer, I don't think you should have to go anywhere. So
it's good. All right, Jay, hit him.
Okay, let's see. State champion, Big 8 champion, NCAA champion, U.S. national champ, world champion, Olympic champion. Just which one of those medals would you be willing to send over to Trevor and I?
The Goodwill Games gold medals.
Okay, the Goodwill Games. Ashton Eaton once told me I could have his national indoor long jump medal because it meant whatever. It's indoor nationals. Who cares?
It's funny.
Let's see. We brag about Wisconsin, but I want to know what's your favorite global runway?
That would be in East Berlin. East Berlin's track. I've had some epic jumps at that track. Actually been invited there a year prior, and they've committed financially years prior just because they knew I would be that I love that runway. So It's a pretty cool deal.
Whose Olympic record did you break?
Olympic record I beat. Good Lord, that's a good one. I would have to say Christo Markov.
Correct, from Bulgaria. Right. How much did you break it by?
A lot.
Oh goodness, about a foot and about a foot and a half, I think.
7 inches. Yeah.
Wow.
What's the longest jump you think you ever made? If we take it, hitting the board or whatever. What's the longest you've ever jumped? If you were to,
I would say 50. I would say the 59 4 1/4. The Olympic record, the American record, because that was into a headwind.
Yep.
So if people understand the gravity of what's spitting into a headwind is, if you do that, why you wouldn't do that? To be able to jump and have the only record in track and field history into a headwind, makes it very significant. So if I didn't have that headwind, if it was just zeros on the wind gauge, that would be that's 60. Then if there was 1 meter per second behind you, that's another foot. So there's a lot that's there. So those were pretty significant jumps, the 1809 and the 1799 into headwinds at the Olympics.
Christian Taylor's got 2 Olympic gold medals and 3 world championship gold medals. Yep. Your prime, him prime. I'm going to Vegas. Who am I betting on?
Kenny Harrison. Head to head.
Okay.
Head to head. Jonathan Edwards was world record holder at 60 foot a quarter of an inch. So if he jumps 60 foot a quarter of an inch head to head against me, he's going to have problems.
All right. Track guy you would pay to watch now. Who do you like?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say the young lady triple jumper.
Rojas, the
Rojas.
Okay. Yilmar Rojas, who is just so far and away better than anyone else in the competition on the women's side.
She just looks cool. She just looks cool too.
Yeah.
She's pretty impressive.
She's not short on charisma at all.
No.
Look her up, kids. Yilmar Rojas. Give me your favorite athlete as a kid.
My brothers. My brother was All-American running back on wide receiver at Brookfield Central, went off to College of DuPage and then over to West Virginia, played at a super high level. Basketball too. They went to state. Basketball player, baseball player. They played all sports back then. Like they're not so specific like we are today. So definitely my brother.
You get 1 ticket. You're going to go see the Bucks, the Brewers, or the Packers?
The Brewers probably.
Yeah.
He
Brewers.
fits through with this group. Then you're in the right
Brewers.
company.
Yeah.
And the last one, give me the best track and field event for Giannis.
Shoot, the triple jump.
You think?
Triple jump. Oh man, come on. The Euro step. The Euro step. He'll be done deal.
Okay. See, I didn't think there's any of them. Like, I'm not so sure there's something made for a guy 6'11" like that.
Well, he's got the Euro step. He has vertical. He can go side to side, so he has the strength to go side to side to handle that. And if you've seen him do his Euro step for distance and covering ground with those long legs and limbs, and he's Greek, which he also is the founder of the Olympics. His heritage founded the Olympics. So I would say that he would definitely be a great triple jumper for sure.
And then you'd be in a meet and you wouldn't talk to him. You'd pretend you hate him, no matter if you played basketball or any of those other things.
Oh, well, he wouldn't beat me, of course. That wasn't going to happen.
No.
He's not going to win that one. But
no, but I just meant like that. Now you're not even going to be friendly to him. You're just going to
not at all.
Get all mad ass at him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not till after the competition.
This is so great, and I have been fighting for a year with Trevor to get track guys on, give it more pub. We've got so many great athletes that have run here in the past, current ones with Molly Seidel and what she did, or Kenny Bednarik. And finally, it took Joe Thomas to convince him. He doesn't listen to me, but he'll listen to Joe Thomas. So I'm glad that Joe came through for us.
I love it.
I bought this shirt for Kenny Harrison, not Joe Thomas.
That shirt is awesome. You win on that. You win on that.
Good luck with your kids. I'm glad you're still out there. Glad that you're working. You're in shape. By the way, so you said you left 5'9" and like 135. What were you when you won the gold medal?
5'10", and some change, and 175 pounds.
Wow. Yeah. So you got all kinds of thick.
Oh yeah.
Chicken, broccoli, and rice. I think that was all.
It took me to 30 till I was 31 years old to get there, but I got there.
That's incredible. Kenny, it was great meeting you, man. Thanks for making Wisconsin proud. We loved having you here on Inside Wisconsin.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Don't talk to him the day he's jumping, hey?
So, like, he is the most jovial. How nice is that guy? But
really nice.
And I watched him compete both up close, collegiately, and then up close on my TV as he went to these great heights. And he always looked like an SOB. Like that guy does not look like he's friendly to anybody at any time.
That's what you were saying. Don't talk to me. I got nothing for you. I'm cool, but not right now. No, we're done.
And it's not like usually the field events like that, because you're out there together and you run the circuit. Most of those guys get along. Like pole vaulters are unbelievable that way. Their fraternity is really, that's because they're pole vault idiots because of what they do, right? Like that's just, hey, let's get on a big stick and vault 19 feet in the air. That seems like fun.
What could go wrong?
So you have those guys, and high jumpers usually are like that. Look at the high jump gold medal. They split this year at the Olympics, last summer at the Olympics, because they tied and they were best buddies. And they're like, can we each have a gold medal instead of jumping off? Like, sure. And then they were all over. But I don't see him as a guy who'd go for that. And he looks like he still could be at 56 years old, 57. He's a little older than I am.
Yeah.
He still looks like maybe he could go 50 if you gave him the runway. He'd still jump out of the back of pits.
Yeah. Elite shape on chicken, broccoli, and rice. I'm going to try that. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do that in
I'd make that like one meal, and then they go, you got to do it again. I'd be like, no, not at all. Not going to happen. But yeah, it's really a treat. And I literally have ridden his coattails on this story about forever. But it never fails to get a laugh. It never gets, and then the punchline is always, and you know who that guy was? It's not like, it was Trevor Thomas. No, it's like, that Kenny Harrison, Olympic gold medalist. And everybody goes, wow. And that's when I go, listen, when you're as bad as I am, you've been beat by a lot of people in your day.
Well, and he's in the ranks. Hey, all right. So take us back. It's John, Wisconsin time. That's a story from your childhood. What else you got?
Sort of, yeah. So we went over, my 5 favorite places in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking, where do I put this particular event and this particular experience in my life? And I don't think it fits, but we're going to go Milwaukee because it's Summerfest. All right. You love Summerfest. Everybody loves Summerfest.
It was on my list.
People that don't know, when I lived in Oklahoma and Arizona here, I'm like, y'all, you need to go to Summerfest. Like, I get it. Y'all know what the Newport Jazz Festival is. Go to Summerfest. It's unbelievable. So I go to Summerfest with my buddies. We're college, so we're mid-80s. And I don't know if you knew this, but I'm a huge connoisseur of the blues because, of course,
I did not know that.
Right. What suburban, white, middle-income kid doesn't love deep heart Chicago blues or Mississippi Delta blues? But
I see it.
Listen, whether it's, John Lee Hooker, who I saw at the Carlton Celebrity Room, or Buddy Guy and Junior Wells, the Chief Eddie Clearwater, Lightning Hopkins, all these guys. Like, I have tons of them. I love them all. Muddy Waters, of course, is great. So Muddy Waters had a great band, but they had a falling out in the early 80s. And so they parted ways. So Muddy, he then just spent the rest of his career playing by himself. And the legendary blues band, all these guys that backed up Muddy Waters, became their own act. They released a bunch of albums. It's the legendary blues band featuring, Willie Big Eye Smith, the drummer, and Pine Top Perkins, who was the piano player, who was a great piano player, legendary Pine Top Perkins.
I believe you.
So this is way too much information, but we go see them. And this is sort of a highlight of my career, even though it happened in the urinal. I look up, I go, I've had my beer and I got to go to the restroom, and I look up and I'm in the urinal and I'm taking with right next to Pine Top Perkins. And so you're like, okay, well, I can't shake his hand. Can't really, here it is. So I just exchanged a glance and a nod. And that is my favorite Summerfest story, is that I got to pee next to Pine Top Perkins of the legendary blues band, who for a long time backed up the great Muddy Waters. The blues band, by the way, at one point when they had some other people come in at times as guys were in the boat, had Billy Flynn. Billy Flynn was probably the greatest blues musician ever in the history of Green Bay. Used to play around town, play at Floyd's back when it was down there in Mason Street. So Billy Flynn was that. But that sort of, I didn't have a place to fit it on my list, but I wanted to acknowledge Summerfest as a great place and a great thing. And just you want to talk about not just a slice of Wisconsin, just a great chunk and piece of Wisconsin that everybody should know. And then I just have a really bizarre, crazy relationship to it.
Appreciate
I don't know if we should apologize for this part of the program. I don't know if we should just say, you know what, I think that's enough. This is a good place to put a pin in it, and we'll see you again in the next episode. But I feel like wrapping here where you say the thing about, keep on Wisconsin or whatever, this might be a really good time for it.
Okay, I'll do that. For John, I'm Trevor. As you were, Wisconsin.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Roll Tech, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Miller Lite, and Aaron's Company.
Shut up and sit down.